Hello and welcome to another Magic the Gathering Arena Brawl video, where we're going to be doing another Rapidfire Round for the end of Theros and the start of Ikoria. And here are the three decks for this Rapidfire Round. We've got Get an Afterlife and Aggressively Generous, which are both decks that I did last time in the Eldraine Brawl standard period. With some small edits, and Etrata's Bounty, which I've obviously mentioned on a couple of the earlier videos that my partner's got a build. This isn't that version of the build. I think his version's better. This one is my old build that I put together way back when, with a few edits again, here and there. And yeah, that's it, ready to go. So, first of all, we'll start off with Get an Afterlife, where it's pretty much got the cards you can expect from Theros added in here. Daxos, Blessed by the Sun, Heliod, Sun Crowned. There may be a few other things like Alseid of Life's Bounty. Just the usual small number of creatures that gain more life, give us more triggers for gaining life, and obviously a cheap recursion creature that allows us to give protection to things. So, all in all, pretty straightforward. Let's jump right in with that and get this party started. Alright, Alayla. So, I was intending to put together an Alayla build actually for Theros because of all of the new enchantments, but that didn't end up happening in the end. This is a bit too risky. The Charming Prince does give me a Scry, which could set things up, but I'd need triple white for Linden. That enters tapped. Yeah, I think this is a mulligan. Okay, this is good. We get two of the new cards straight off the bat. 4 mana. Sorin ready to go. Unfortunately, Daxos doesn't trigger when Heliod enters, because Heliod won't be a creature at that time. Alright, that's an Ancestral Blade. Oh, that's awkward, having to go from double white to triple black. Well, it'll be fine. We get this down, we get Heliod down. Sorin comes down the turn after. Yep, I'm not going to block that. Alright, a midnight clock. Okay, there we go. They can fix their mana to be able to play Alayla next turn, I think, with that. Okay, now Linden's here, but I've got no... Yep. Okay. Get my swing in. This is the awkward thing with running both of these. Honestly, I could probably, and should probably, cut one, if not both of them, and they probably will get cut down the line with better additions from future sets. Yep, there they go. They've now got all the colours of mana they need. They've decided to Glass Casket Daxos, which is probably for the best. As Sorin now has no way of... Okay, that's good. Let's drop... Ah, they can get Death Touch, though, with Alayla. Oh no, Mystic Forge is a dangerous card in a deck like this. I can't remember if I've added, and Shadow Spear is equally dangerous, when I've got Heliod down. Okay, still nothing here. Alright, I do get... setup, or... Nah, I think we go for our Sorin play here. I leave Sorin open here, but Angel gets in a couple of good hits to be able to get some counters on it. And now I'm back up to 25 life, although that will change once they attack. Unless, of course, they attack Sorin. Okay, they've got a lot of rap going on here. Shimmer Dragon. My Angel Vitality is going to be bigger than it, though. they're going face. They want to try and keep Angel of Vitality down in size. But unfortunately, Soren will be able to increase it again by using his plus. Honestly, I mean, I guess Shimmer Dragon isn't an artifact, so that's fine to bring down. There we go. Now, I do think I dropped the Aerialist, since this can also grow, and will grow exponentially fast. So we'll apply pressure and force them to get some form of board wipe.
What a mess I've made.
And we can now get Bloodthirsty Aerialist to be big enough to safely block and kill Shimmer Dragon should that attack as well. And we also have the ability to use Heliod to give one of these lifelink. Right, they do get some card draw off the Shimmer Dragon though, so they do get some value. They get a chance to get an opening, because if not, I'm going for lethal next turn. Got the Bond of Discipline in hand. Okay, they play their Alayla out. They've still got 2 mana, so they can still have a counterspell up. Hopefully they tap that out to play something to try and create more tokens. That they do. The life comes in at the end, so this is game. Ah, they got another land. Oh. What are they untapping? Oh no, they're playing Manifold Key to get another token. They're trying to build up a board to block this Bond of Discipline. They're gonna hate me. Okay, so start off with this. Good game. Alright, that was pretty smooth. Get right to the point and take them out. Alright, and now let's move on to Aggressively Generous, which I haven't renamed because I didn't actually edit until this point. However, yeah, notable inclusions: Anax Harden the Forge and Nylea Keen-Eyed, since, funnily enough, despite being incredibly humanoid, because they are gods and demigods, they do not count as humans. Anax also produces Satyr tokens, which then also get counters from Grumgully, and we also have Arasta for the similar reason of creating Spider tokens, which will then, once again, get counters. Nylea is also able to get us through creature cards, which we have a large number of. The majority of the deck is creatures, so I replaced the 5 mana whenever you hit with a 1/1 on creatures, draw a card. Since it's only drawing us 1 card at max, and Nylea also gives us a discount, it's indestructible. Most of our deck is green, so it's easy enough to get the devotion for it. And yeah, being able to reveal the top card and putting it into hand is a great value. Is of great value. So let's get started with this. Alright, and we're up against Ashiok. Can be pretty scary control-wise. Here, okay, that Pelt Collector, Titanic Brawl. Yeah, I think this is fine. We get our Forest down, we can get our Pelt Collect turn 1, Rugged Highlands to follow that up. I think most of our 2-drops are just green-green. I think there are a few red-greens, but should be fine. Dropping our tapped land. And then Grumgully comes down turn 3. They've got nothing turn 1. It could very easily be followed up by a Thought Erasure or Agonizing Remorse turn 2. So, but then again, I mean, I guess they'd probably take Arasta. Thrash Threat might be worthwhile if they're worried about me getting big things to punch Ashiok to death, but Arasta should, if they're playing a heavy control deck, be their primary target. Okay, this suggests that they've probably got more than one thing to do, and they're debating it. Okay. So they might be short on lands in hand, and they're trying to set up to make sure that they don't miss land drops. Because against a red-green deck, they really can't afford to do that. Yeah, that definitely implies it to me to some extent. Fortunately for them, I've not got a turn 2. And they now can have counterspells up. Which I will 100% play Grumgully into. Because if... Okay, that's not a counterspell. It is potential ramp, though. Okay, Grumgully does come down. As Grumgully always does. Get another punch in. Legion Warboss. I guess Legion Warboss would have got one additional trigger from Pelt Collector. Power 2 or less. Ah, okay, there goes Pelt Collector. But that's fine. That means they've still got Grumgully. Reveal hand, non-creature, non-land. So there's only a couple of options they've got there at the moment. Legion Warboss, though, coming in hot. And I can Titanic Brawl. Well, they get to see my hand first, so... They get a choice of 2, and I'd probably get rid of Titanic Brawl since I can currently use it, but Thrash Threat is the better option for me to keep. So it's immediate potential value if they want to drop a creature, or Thrash Threat, which is, yeah, better against them particularly. Ritual of Soot hurts, but it's to be expected. They have the mana... Oh, that barge. I expect this to be a Ashiok turn, so Grumgully works in my favour here. Maybe dropping Arasta that turn instead of the Legion Warboss to play around the Ritual of Soot would have been better, but I think the aggro was the better call. Because this is likely an Ashiok turn. Yep.
Listen to my whispers. You must be subdued. And shadow recoil to the recess of your mind.
You know what? Let's double out. Get to put a counter on Grumgully. So, Troll Red Guardian now gives that trample as well.
All your fears are
So they've shocked in at 6 mana. 7 mana, in fact. Agent of Treachery seems most likely there. But they're keeping it open, so they might have removal and counterspell. And they're going to want to counter this. That's not a counterspell, but it's forced their hand. And now do they want to use another counterspell? they do not. Because they want to use it on that. Alright, that's fine. Their midnight clock is going to go off soon, though, which is a oh no. Alright, I think this is going downhill now. We need something to refill my hand. That is not something to refill my hand. Because I currently can't punch through these. They can now force me to sacrifice both of these, and then Grumgully's out of the picture for another 2 turns. Basically, it's a top deck, something like... yeah, I need to top deck something that can draw me cards, or generate some kind of card advantage, or I'm out. I probably should have dropped Arasta. I mean, I still feel that it was the right play to drop it's been exiled, the Legion War boss on that turn. But perhaps I should have taken into consideration what I was playing against and got Arasta down whilst they were definitely out of a counter spell. And, as I said, as insurance for the Ritual of Cert. Because, yeah, they got a board. They got their Sinister Sabotage back from the shuffle. That's brilliant. Well, I'm gonna just good game it there. They've established board control. I can't punch through out of cards. They've fully restocked. So, shame there, Grumgully. You tried your best. You came close. I think one decision on turn 4 is what cost us that there. So finally we've got Etrata's Bounty, which I feel is the worst of these 3, because this is one that I've put together but not actually fully dedicated it to playing with. As I said, I think my partner's version is better because this is very bounce and counterspell heavy, but not for creatures, because the logic is I want creatures on the board that Etrata can get rid of. And so I've only got a few emergency... Well, I've got Liliana and Ritual of Cert as emergency board wipes if the board goes out of control with something that goes wide. And then, yeah, for the most part, it's bounce and ways of making Etrata come back to hand or be flickered so that I can get multiple triggers with Etrata without having to shuffle into my library or put it back to command zone and play again. Although we do have the ramp to hopefully be able to play Etrata 3 times reasonably. It can work well, but where my partner's version is better is this. This works really well if you're against a very aggressive creature-heavy build that you just need the tempo on. My partner's one works better as a deck on its own that just wins with Etrata. So with that in mind, I think his is better. And yeah, in this game where it's their deck is going to be full of control spells, and okay, I'll keep that. This is an insane opening hand, but they're out looking aggressively. We win! Hey, I was wrong. Etrata is the best deck. It won turn 0. Alright, let's try that again. As I was saying, this one is probably better than my partner's against the decks that it's likely to win against. His is better in the long run. Oh goody, Niv Mizzet, Nicol Bolas. I've seen them so many times in these last couple of days. This is also pretty decent. I got the mana I need for Etrata for the first turn. I can get down and have a negate and Brazen Borrower open as well. Okay, never mind. There goes negate or Nasa. Nasa probably is the better one as it gets me 2 cards for the value of 1. And they can play around the negate. There's no point playing out Etrata this turn, because, well, playing out Etrata this turn, they can just kill spell it. Black, white, red, green, blue. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't matter if I bounce the Caryatid. The answers. What have you got in hand? Okay, that's 2 pieces of removal. And Thassa. That's not good. Because I need to hit the removal so I can play Etrata, but Thassa is a bigger problem. That would have dealt with the problem. Know about the emergent zone, so I'll drop that. Hopefully they'll play around the fact that I got 3 mana. Well, now let's see how much value they get here. So that's a Dovin's Veto. That's not good. That's an Ionize. That's not good. That's an Absorb, so fortunately they can only get 1 of those. And that's a Drown in the Loch. So, yeah, pick their poison. They've got 3 counter spells. Yeah, and 2 pieces of removal. And that doesn't really do anything because they don't just get to play Niv Mizzet again. They've only got 1 blue though, but then they've only got 1 black. No, Elysian is any color, isn't it? Oh, 2 mana of any 1 color because of Niv Mizzet. Okay, yep, they've got their white blue open. I'm out of this game. I'm just, you know, I'm just going to bounce and have another shot with this deck because that hand. And this is what I mean is when they've got that much control, I've only got about 1 creature that they've got to deal with, and yeah, I am now facing nothing but control, and this is how I expect this to end. 2 of these lands enter tapped. And if they've got a Thought Erasure here, I'm in trouble. Agonizing Remorse close enough. They can now hit the Sinister Sabotage, and they know every other trick I've got. And that's exile, so Mission Briefing doesn't get to bring it back. Narset's Reversal. Okay. That is reasonable. On the basis that, and once again, another land that enters tapped, they know what I've got and they can play around it. No, I need a swamp. That's good. Also, they've only got one blue at the moment. Right, so... Can't deal with Nightveil Predator. That's a good point. I should have probably put in the Shadow Spear. That's a while off. Unsummon is fine. Let's get rid of the Nightveil Predator. Because this can't target it, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Tempted to play it out. They then get to drop, because they know every card in my hand still. I'm going to do it anyway. Because if they want to unsummon it, alright. That's fine. Because it goes to my hand, and I can replay it again. Because they're going to want to get down Ashiok. Yep. And then they get to plus it.
There is little as exquisite, creeping, thieving project.
Super tempted to bounce Ashiok with Ashiok. It's really tempting. But I think I'm going to go with my initial play. I get to Etrata. I've got Time Twist to flicker it. I'm hoping they're targeting with Ashiok. Yeah. They can still have a counterspell for this, but that goes to hand, so... So if they counter it, then... I mean, they're buying the same effect, in general. Yeah, that's fine in my book. That's all of their mana gone. Goes to hand.
All your fears are given for.
It is -7, isn't it? So I am going to have to deal with that now. It dies if I bounce it with that. So let's just raise and borrow this now. And keep the flash ready to go. Yeah, that's never promising. Yeah, they respond with their Brazen Borrower. Now, there's plenty of ways they can still remove this. But at least this one card they don't know about, so I can hopefully bluff. Okay, I'll let that resolve. So they presumably attack with both of those and Brazen Borrower. They probably got me beat as well, in honesty. Like, as I said, very creature-like in their deck. Oh, that Murderous Rider is beautiful, though. Well, I didn't expect to have to use Murderous Rider on one of these. But oh well. Probably going to get milled by these tokens at this rate. And they got another counter spell. So, yep, mine is pretty dead at this stage. Honestly, at this stage, let's get rid of that. The fact that they've been stuck on 5 lands has been such a saving grace so far. Because if they hit 6, they get Lochmere Serpent. If they hit 7... And then that also puts me into range from one land being off Kira, Best the Sea God, so I can never play that out. Okay, do I Dispersal here? Yes, I think I do. Because it either forces a response, gets rid of the threat, and they still have to discard a card. Which, honestly, the best thing to discard would be Lochmere Serpent, since you can bring it back with its ability. It also then doesn't reveal any new information to me about what's in your hand. That also works. That does also work. But they now can't play that for a while. You know what, let's main phase this. I was just in case I got a land, as an example. That negate is beautiful, though, because I can now play out Etrata and have negate up. Negate also enters the Sea God, which means I can Sinister Sabotage another threat. A Disdainful Stroke. It's also pretty beautiful. Okay. Take my chance eating more of their removal, because they can now finally play their Lochmere Serpent. And because they can flash it in, they can technically do it when I'm not prepared and unable to get it immediately with Etrata. That's a creature. That's good for me. They might be playing it, though, to get it back to my command zone. Okay, they're planning on exiling my entire graveyard. Oh, they also want to get rid of my counterspell, I guess. So we exile the Kraken. Do I play it out again and risk? No, I can't afford Kira Best the Sea God hitting the... Actually, I can. Because the control is the last bit. Okay, this is incredibly dangerous. My logic is I've got Dream Eater... Oh wait, it's got Hexproof, I can't bounce. Yeah. Okay, never mind. I have made a tactical error, but I can stop the steal effect, which is the bigger threat. Okay, no, I remember what it is, because if they create the token, I can exile it with Etrata still. I can then still bounce it with Dream Eater before the steal effect. However, I have a feeling they're playing too few lands for this deck, given that they've been stuck on lands for so long. Okay, that's promising. Exiling my graveyard does hurt a little bit, because I lose my Chemist's Insight and Mission Briefing becomes a dead card. Is there anything I can Mission Briefing now? Mission Briefing, Stunned Dismissal. Turn that to their hand. But then there's no point in... Okay. No, I'm going to pass to the end of the turn, put in the stop, because just in case they had something. Okay. I was hoping that they'd play out their Lochmere Serpent. Oh, I should have drawn at that point. Oops. Ah, so many misplays. So many misplays! Gonna keep that just so they don't know what I've got. Honestly, I should be cracking that Cryptic Cave at this... I've got Castle Vantress, I can scry. So I've got most of my deck exiled at this point. 16 cards. It's gonna be close. Because yeah, they know that if they don't play creatures, then I can't do anything with Etrata. But yeah, they've hit their 7 mana. Is there a way to see how many times it's... 6 more the next time it's cast from the command zone, so 10 mana. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I can currently replay it immediately. But then I have nothing open. So hopefully they do nothing. I scry again. Drop this land. Okay, what do we got in graveyard? Okay, they got Night Veil Predator. However, that is a creature. That is something I can hit with the Etrata, so... but if they turn it into... which I expect them to do, the Night Veil Predator... I then have to Dream Eater it. Yep, that's what I thought. Tail's End. There we go. That's something I can use. That's another win con. So I can draw that in an emergency. I don't really want to throw anything away with how small my library is, so we'll do it like that. So that goes back to your hand. I now get to hit you for 7. You're now pretty tapped out for this Liana.
Let us march into battle and make new comrades.
Okay, I think we did it.
Rise
Okay.
and shine.
Whew. There we go. Managed to get there in the end. It was a scary game. Right, so I hope you enjoyed. Grumgully was done dirty there. I feel that everyone else stepped up to the plate. Well, Etrata had 2 shots because of that. If I've ever seen a hand that says, no, Etrata's not winning this game ever before, yeah, that hand is like the perfect example of how you're not going to win with Etrata. Yeah, Grumgully got done dirty. It's fine. I'm sure Grumgully will have a chance to redeem itself in the future, because I do like Grumgully. He's got such a magnificent beard, and he's so generous. And yeah, this deck performed just as I expected to. It's like Furrybait on steroids. So that concludes Theros Beyond Death Standard for Brawl games for me. I don't know exactly which date this is going to be coming up, because the how short the spoiler season has thrown me a bit. I was expecting like another week or so, and so I'd have time to get my 2 additional videos and then have a special for the the Rapidfire Round. However, with that, and also with the fact that it's, I believe, been confirmed by Wizards of the Coast developer for Arena, that the Brawl event will still be free to play with Ikoria. It may, in fact, be possible for me to play before the following Wednesday. So, with that in mind, I might have some videos up for next week instead of this one. So, if it's the 21st of April when this video goes up, then that clearly wasn't the case. If it's come up before then expect Ikoria stuff from then. And with that in mind, take care. I'll see you guys next time.